Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Marvel Contest of Champions. Now today, thanks to the Content Creator Program, I've been granted early access to Invisible Woman, as well as some information about Invisible Woman, and there's one specific part about this character that I want to talk about in today's video, and that is the character's weaknesses. Now there are a couple very interesting weaknesses that you really do want to know when you're going to be fighting against this character, because some of them do seem kind of obvious, or will seem obvious, I should say, when you think about it, but there's others that may not be quite as obvious. I'm just going to spend a couple minutes here just kind of talk about them. So I've been given access to the Champion Spotlight for Invisible Woman, and they do have a section about weaknesses. However, this section does not list everything. There's one thing that they missed, or that they did not put in here, that I have found out through the Content Creator Program that I have been given the okay to share with you guys, so I will. But what we're going to start off with first, though, is the ones that are listed in the Champion Spotlight. So the first weakness for Invisible Woman is the bleed effect. Now, I'm just going to read directly what it says off of the post here, and then I'll explain it a little bit. So it says here, while Invisible Woman is invisible, all attacks have a 100% chance to miss her. Normally, when she turns invisible, the invisibility is paused, so her opponent is forced to attack her in order to remove it. However, if she's bleeding when invisibility activates, it does not pause and will expire 2 seconds later. Now you might be asking yourself, because I certainly ask myself this, what does it mean when it says her invisibility is paused? Now the invisibility, at least from what I understand it, now I may be incorrect, but what I understand it as is when she turns invisible, she will remain invisible until the opponent attacks her, and that's what it means by paused. But once the opponent attacks Invisible Woman, then a 2-second timer, or countdown rather, begins, and after that 2 seconds, she will no longer be invisible. Now what's the big deal about this? Well, when you're forced to attack her in order to activate this timer, that means you're going to leave yourself vulnerable, because you are going to 100% miss, as it does say in the post, so you are going to leave yourself vulnerable to attacks. Now when you're playing as Invisible Woman, you want to watch for them to make this attack, because again, they will be wide open. Do whatever you want to them, start up a combo, whatever you need to do, that is your moment to do it. Now the effect that bleed has on this is bleed acts like an attack. Because it's causing damage to Invisible Woman, it will start that 2-second timer immediately. That way you won't have to leave yourself open to an attack. So basically for that 2 seconds, you can either, dodge back or just block that entire time, not leaving yourself open to attacks, and getting a lot of extra damage that you could have outright avoided. Now in the Content Creator Discord, along with the mention of the bleed effect, how that is a weakness for Invisible Woman, it does also mention that ability accuracy reduction is also going to be a good thing to have if you're fighting against Invisible Woman. Now unfortunately it doesn't elaborate a whole lot on here, but one thing it does mention is that if you want this kind of setup with the bleed and the ability accuracy reduction, a good character to go with would be Archangel. So Archangel seems like he will be one of the main counters for Invisible Woman. Now the second weakness that is listed in the Champion Spotlight post is debuff shrugging. Invisible Woman's invisibility is linked to the vulnerability debuffs she places on the opponent. Whenever she would become invisible, she places one of these debuffs, and when one of them would be removed, invisibility and all other vulnerabilities are removed. Opponents who shrug off debuffs can use this to remove vulnerabilities right after they're placed, so Invisible Woman will have a hard time staying invisible while fighting them. And it does give us a specific list of some champions that are good for this. Those are Crossbones, Agent Venom, and Kingpin. Now this is pretty self-explanatory. Basically, anytime Invisible Woman goes invisible, she places a debuff on the enemy that causes them to miss 100% of the time. Now, with characters like Agent Venom, Crossbones, and Kingpin, they can shrug that off, basically just eliminating the whole point of being invisible. So when fighting against characters like that, Invisible Woman is probably not your best choice, because invisibility is a big part of her attack. But again, of course, this goes the other way. If you are fighting an Invisible Woman, bringing in a character like Crossbones, Agent Venom, or Kingpin is a great option. Not only do you get this effect of basically limiting her invisibility effect, you also get that class bonus, so you'll get an increase of your damage while they have a decrease of their damage. So all around, Crossbones, Agent Venom, and Kingpin are all solid options against Invisible Woman. Now, the very last weakness I want to talk about, it's not really a weakness, but more of a counter against Invisible Woman, is one that when you hear it is going to seem so obvious, but it might not be something that you think of right away. Now, there is a character in Contest of Champions, or rather two characters, that have a very strong advantage against Invisible Woman and basically half of what her whole power is. She is literally called the Invisible Woman, which means you cannot see her. But there are two characters in this game who don't need to see you to fight, and those characters are Daredevil and Daredevil Netflix. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, that's so obvious, but it might not be something you think of right away. Now, it is posted in the Content Creator Discord, and I have been given the okay to talk about this, so I'm just going to read off what it does say here. So it says, because of his unique sense of sight, or rather lack thereof, Daredevil's able to hit Invisible Woman while she's invisible. And it seems super obvious because he's not using his sight to spot the enemy. He uses a mixture of like hearing and sound, or hearing and smell, and all of his other senses are basically enhanced because of his loss of vision. So it just seems super obvious when you say it out loud, but of course it may not be something that you think of right away. The one thing they do mention here also in that same little paragraph here is that this ability where he can hit people that you cannot see, it does not count though for characters that are phased. So characters like Ghost, yes, they are invisible, but they're also phased where you're actually not able to hit them at all, whereas Invisible Woman, you just can't see her, but you still can hit her. So again, with that though, you also do get the class bonus as well, so increase of damage for you, decrease of damage for her, so another really great option to go against Invisible Woman. Now, does that mean you should go ahead and rank up those Netflix Daredevils or OG Daredevils? I wouldn't say so. Maybe it's something you can have in your back pocket if you know that maybe you're going to come across a really tough Invisible Woman boss, like maybe later on in Act 6 or whatever, there's going to be an Invisible Woman boss. Maybe that's something to have, but overall, I'd say it's probably not worth it to go with the Daredevil. I probably would recommend rather go with like a Crossbones or an Agent Venom, but yeah, it's again, it's something that seems super obvious once you hear it, but it might not be something you think of right away. Overall though, that is going to be it for this video. She's got some unique weaknesses, some that you definitely wouldn't think of right away, but I just wanted to focus kind of on this because she has a unique set of weaknesses, so I thought it was worth putting a whole separate video together for her. But as I said, that is going to be it for this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, and if you like this kind of stuff, we got lots of it coming out all the time, so feel free to subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think about Invisible Woman in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts on the character. I've only just gotten to start playing her as I'm recording this, so I don't really have a whole lot to go on, but I will have some videos that may already be out or will be coming out with more information about Invisible Woman, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, social media and whatnot, links are all down in the description, so go check it out there. But yeah, I think that's gonna be about it. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching, going over some of the Invisible Woman's weaknesses in Marvel Contest of Champions. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!